And so, another year since I became indie published has gone by, and this time around I'm celebrating 9 years. Welcome to a video all about my experiences, with an aim to reflect while also doing my best to pass on something useful. Has much changed since my video about celebrating 8 years? I would say yes, big time, and I can imagine things might also be a little different when I celebrate 10 years. Before we do dive in any further, I'd like to introduce to you the literary graphic novel series The Tales of Orlin from Jetson Brothers Studios. The Tales of Orlin is a fantasy series written and illustrated by its author, Jaron Jetson, who seamlessly combines his love for history and fantasy into a unique blend in his books, bringing to life a world unlike any other, with unique races and creatures and lovable characters in a story that is guaranteed to capture your hearts and imaginations. He's just released the second book in the series, The Mercenary and the Crystal Eye, which is over 400 pages long, all fully illustrated too. He has worked very hard on these books and would love to share his creations with all of you, so be sure to pick up The Tales of Orlin and give it a read. Best sales year yet. Without placing too much pressure on myself or anyone else, I've always carried the philosophy that your current year should strive to be your very best, or at least you should be aiming for it. The bar might constantly be moving, while sometimes things go well and sometimes they don't. So as year 8 closes for me, I can proudly say things have never been better. The foundations for my successes this year were laid by the previous ones, and probably more importantly, my journey is defined by the fact I've kept moving forward and have been fortunate enough to do so. And that is the key thing here, being fortunate enough to keep going. There are so many reasons out of our control as to why we may slow down or not be able to give writing our full attention, and I have made great efforts to not let any of them get in the way. One of my lesser-known talents, if I have any, is to adapt to my current circumstances and find a way forward, to survive. Now, there are so many different ways to measure success in publishing, but to keep it simple, I can proudly say that this calendar year, 2025, is my very best ever in terms of total books sold. My current contender for very best sales year is 2021, and so that philosophy of striving for the very best each year might be great in theory, and it is a great thing to aim for, but in reality it has taken me some time to reach where I am now. And as I say for the 100th time, good things do take time. This graph displays the numbers which include paid and free units. Both have been paramount to my wider success in finding readers, and there has always been debate about the effectiveness of free units and whether or not authors are willing to give away their work for free. But because I have a backlist, most of my other books come into play when I run a free promo. Running a free promo with advertising brings a lot of eyes onto my wider backlist, and they do drive paid sales alongside that freebie. These days I can pay off my advertising for a free promo this way. Ratings and reviews are also another great way to measure success, and my very first book, Open Evening, recently reached 350 Amazon ratings, which suggests reader interest over the long term and successful marketing efforts. My guidebook, Consistent Creative Content, was seemingly stuck on 60 ratings for a while now, at least 2 years, and this year that number finally moved up. These statistics speak for themselves, but everything else circulating them also matters. My Patreon currently has the most subscribers it has ever had, and videos like this always premiere there first. I must take this opportunity to thank those who do subscribe to my Patreon, many of which are fellow creatives, and have given me motivation to keep creating. Everything else has driven this year to good things. To me, writing is quite a broad thing, from books to plays to even the script for a video like this. My writing efforts take many forms, and while releasing books grants me the title of indie author, everything else I do in writing is still writing. These days my efforts towards releasing new books through self-publishing might have slowed, but I'm still writing or creating a lot, from Patreon to blogging to even video content, and of course, indie book reviews. I cannot overlook everything that surrounds my indie author career because it really has mattered in recent times. This year I have written 2 plays, with one currently in production and set for the stage in early 2026, which I'm also going to be starring in, and the other is slated for the summer of 2026, which I'm probably going to direct. My pace hasn't slowed down, even if I'm not writing books as much. I'm still pursuing my creativity. I've also been editing my sci-fi family saga epic, which I intend to query again soon. There's also another guidebook that has been sitting on the back burner for a while, and next year might be the time to put that out into the world. This time around, the idea for a guidebook will be more concise, and a shorter book with a lot more focused ideas. You'll hopefully hear more about that soon. Success can be many different things, and while sales are my best ever, the stuff classed as everything else has driven this year to being great. My social media following has never been higher, and also sits in line with that original philosophy of striving for the very best. While it's nice to semi-boast about these things, the biggest boast for me is the fact that I enjoy the challenges that everything else in writing presents me. If you can continue to find something positive from your writing and creative endeavors after a long time, then to me you are doing very well. Me, I've continually explored new things within the umbrella of writing, and enjoy new challenges and going to new places with it. Embracing other writers has helped me over time. Many of you watching this are writers or creatives, and I'm proud of the fact that many of my readers are writers. I am also proud to be a writer who reads voraciously, and today it is part of my wider process to function. Reviewing books from fellow indie authors has opened doors and has brought me closer to some fantastic works and people. Many have read and reviewed my work, or simply follow me on social media. The long game in connecting with others in a positive way really does lead to so many opportunities. From what began for me in 2018 as a handful of indie book reviews is now a fully fledged pledge to support writers every year. It gives me motivation to write, and of course put together a stack of different content ideas, such as video reviews, which has helped me branch out to new audiences like you. All of this is simply driven by my love for reading. Not bad for a solitary task that is much more beneath the surface, and I have so many fellow writers to thank for that. To try new things is to find new results. I've tried a fair amount of newer things in the past year or so. Firstly, I took the plunge into creating a lot more video content, which also centered around those indie book reviews. This eventually got me noticed by an international flash fiction writing competition, who invited me to be a professional judge, which subsequently exposed me to some incredible writing, and even money. That money has helped me pay for some book promotion advertising, where I even ran a free promo for my guidebook for the very first time. To be paid by the industry is an incredible thing, and something that took a body of work to use as a sort of proof that I'm trustworthy. Since that first judging opportunity, I have since been asked back to work with them again, and so I found myself with regular opportunities within the literary industry, which really is a dream come true. Running a free promo for my guidebook has helped move more digital copies, while also it got me noticed by BookPub, who then featured it via another free promo, which moved some really good numbers. This indie author stuff is becoming more of a business every year for me, and these type of opportunities are becoming more frequent. A new release after time away. The difference between the past few years and this year is pretty simple. I've released a new book, and this book has helped me reach new readers and give older readers something new. The release of Last Outlaw, which was rather successful, with 20 written reviews coming in quick after release and over 100 copies selling within that first year. This time around, I've had a lot more experience and resources to help target good numbers for that launch, to rejuvenate my already established backlist while doing my best to find new readers. One of the strongest factors for success was the amount of early reviews I managed to find by reaching out to the plethora of contacts I've made over the years. To those who did help me with Last Outlaw, thank you. The outlook is good. Like every year since Open Evening was released, I'm going to keep writing and keep doing everything else that surrounds it, from Patreon content to book reviews to social media and of course fiction. All of this stuff I consider a success, because I approached it gradually and pieced it together over time in a pace that suits me. This all began with that first book, which enabled me to find readers and writers to connect with. Not bad for a story inspired by my formative years and influenced by the many films, TV shows, books and games I enjoyed throughout my life. These days I fondly look back at those first steps into publishing, and they eventually formed into something much bigger. Now I haven't really talked in much detail about Open Evening, but for the next milestone, 10 years being published, I imagine that will be a more retrospective look at the details of Open Evening and how it came to be. Above all of my writing endeavours sits the very important concept of enjoyment and positivity, because after all these years, this journey brings me both, along with challenges that keep me interested enough to keep chipping away at them. Whether or not we actually succeed sometimes doesn't really matter, but the pursuit does. and the lessons learned and the connections made along the way, well, they matter to me too. Here's to many more years spent writing and doing everything else that surrounds it. Thank you for watching.